the school here. It's a beautiful facility, and it's my first time in South America. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of Lima. All I've seen so far is just the ride from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel. So hopefully later this week I'll be able to see more of the beautiful city. So I'm part of the Networking Academy team. I've been with the Academy program for about 4 years. I've been with Cisco overall for 11 years. So I started in learning and development, moved over to Networking Academy about 4 years ago. And is anybody in here familiar with NetWriters, the NetWriters student competitions? Okay, lots of them, great. So I manage the student advocacy team, and our team is responsible to help put on the NetWriters program. The picture that you probably saw a moment ago, that was from last year's student trip to the headquarters in San Jose, California. My other part, the other part of my job is related to Academy Evolution. A few people have said you look familiar. It's because I'm on WebEx a lot, and you've probably seen me in the WebEx video window. I do spend most of my days on WebEx meetings. Today I'm going to share the other part of Academy Evolution. Laura talked a little bit about the first part, which was business architecture. Congratulated many of you that have gone through the business architecture change already. And I'm going to talk about the technology part of Academy Evolution. You'll hear about this today, and then you'll also hear more tomorrow from Gary Coman, and then Jose Pablo and I are also going to share a little bit more with you tomorrow about this evolution. So lots of things to share with you. I'm just going to start with a review of the business architecture, and I understand on Wednesday you'll have another opportunity to talk about business architecture a little bit more and let us know how things are going and provide some feedback in that area. I'm going to define what does technology evolution mean. So we give names to all of these things, and hopefully I'll provide some clarity for what that really means to you and also to instructors at all of your academies. I'm going to spend a good amount of time talking about what does it mean to upgrade, what does it mean to move and to start to upgrade to the new technology. Okay, so I'll share those details with you. And then how do you learn about it? So how do you learn more? Tomorrow we're going to give you a demo of the new learning environment, but we want to make sure that you have a way to get more questions answered and learn more about it. We have some expectations, or really an ask of all of you. You are all here representing Academy Support Centers and Instructor Training Centers, so we want to share with all of you what we'd like you to do to help us with this technology evolution. And then some FAQs, or frequently asked questions. We've already talked with some people about Academy Evolution, this second part, and there's some common questions that come up, so we want to share that information with you. And then lastly, just how to get more information. Before we get into the details, I just want to say that timing is not perfect. So what I'm going to talk about today, a lot of the details in Academy Evolution, specifically the technology part, it's really still in development. So when I talk about timelines or specific dates, they're very tentative. The new system is really in development as we speak, and so it's just important to understand that what I'm going to provide to you right now is my best estimate, and as things progress and more development happens, we'll get you specific dates. But we didn't want to miss this opportunity to share these details with you since the conference was this week. So you've seen this before, process evolution, starting to wrap up the process evolution and the business architecture migration, which was represented by really shifting our academy community from the old model on the left here, where we had CATCs, regional academies, and the local academies, and starting to shift the academy community to the new model along the right here. So this is the new model where Cisco has a relationship with the Cisco Academies. Our Cisco Academies, as many of you know, and you're probably helping some of your academies through this, they have academy agreements that they're signing. And then the biggest change is the new partner model in the middle here. So we have the instructor training centers helping with instructor training. We have the academy support centers helping to support our Cisco Academies. You can see that line there. It really just represents that all Cisco Academies must have an Academy Support Center. And then an area where you probably haven't heard a lot about is NetAcad Resource Program. This is an area we have more to do within the next year to develop it. But the basic idea here is that we want more partners to be able to offer services for our students or our instructors. And they might be partners that don't necessarily want to be an instructor training center or an academy support center. So an example would be a company might want to sponsor a NetWriters event, or they might want to offer a mentoring program or a scholarship program for students. But they don't really want to support academies here, and they don't want to get involved in instructor training. So we don't want to deny them the opportunity to get involved. We would bring them on as a NetAcad resource partner within that program. This is wrapping up, so we've got about another month, and everybody around the world will be now transitioned into this new model. And it's very different around the world. So how this model looks around the world, everybody has instructor training centers and academy support centers, but the number that they have, or the number of institutions that are sharing both roles, fees that are being charged to academies, all of that is very different around the world. And we expect that. It's really designed to be a flexible model and allow people to do as they wish, and also allow the academies to have a choice in who they go to for their support. So that is business architecture. Now we're going to move to the next part, technology evolution. You can see right about May, June there, it starts ramping up, and we're going to start talking more and more about the technology evolution. So how many in here are, I know you're all from an academy support center or a training center, how many are also NetAcad instructors in the room? Okay, great, quite a few of you. So I personally think that the technology evolution is the most exciting part for the instructor community. What it really means, if I had to define it in one sentence, this is what it means. It means removing all academy members, instructors, NetAcad contacts, ASC advisors, whatever your role is in the Networking Academy program, we're moving all users from Academy Connection to Cisco NetSpace. And that's a term that many of you probably have not heard yet. So the new system that we're moving to is called Cisco NetSpace. We're going from Academy Connection over there. Everybody, even students, eventually will be over in Cisco NetSpace. Has anybody heard of the term NetSpace? Does anybody use the other NetSpace today? Okay, a couple of hands. So academynetspace.com is a gaming site. We have a lot of games on there that students can go on and they can answer a question of the day, or there's some more scenario-based games on Academy NetSpace. The new learning management system, the new environment is going to be Cisco NetSpace. That's an important detail. As I said in the beginning, there's details that I'm sharing. That is defined. It's a definite. It's called Cisco NetSpace. But I do ask all of you, because it's very early for us to be sharing this information, I ask that anything related to Cisco NetSpace today or tomorrow, that you don't quite go out to your academies yet and start talking about NetSpace. It's early. It is still in development. We haven't announced the name to anybody, but all of you, timing is good for all of you, so we wanted to share this detail with you. So what this means is, if you're an instructor, how you activate your assessments, how you manage your classroom, everything that you do in Academy Connection, you'll end up doing in Cisco NetSpace eventually. Okay? So I'm going to talk with you about how are you going to get there? How will you move from Academy Connection over to NetSpace? Whether you're an instructor, how will a student move there? Maybe your role as a NetAcad contact or an ASC advisor, and all of you need to eventually move to NetSpace as well. Looks like I'm missing a meeting there. So today, what I'll talk with you today about is first the time frame. So what does this look like? How many months are we talking about transitioning over to NetSpace? How you can learn more about NetSpace? What happens once you move? So once you move over to the new system, there's a couple things that are going to happen to your role within Academy Connection. And how can all of you help? I mentioned that before. As an ASC or an ITC, we're really looking to your community to help us with this transition. Tomorrow, more exciting things will come, and that's because we'll be able to demo the new environment. So Gary's going to talk about it a bit in the morning, some of the highlights of it, and then Jose and I will share what we can within Cisco NetSpace and show you what that environment looks like. So I'm going to cover just some of the high-level goals. You're going to hear more about this tomorrow, I believe, from Gary, but I'll just give you an idea of why we're doing this. There's many instructors and students around the world who have told us, well, why are you changing? Academy Connection is fine. I go in and I access my curriculum. I take my exams, and I manage my classes just fine, and I don't need any changes, and I know how to use it, so don't change the system on me. We think we can do a lot better. So we think we have some catch-up to do with the market, and so that's why we're moving over to NetSpace. And here's some of the goals and what we're really getting out of this. First, we need to align to market trends. There's a lot going on with learning management systems out there that Academy Connection just hasn't given us, as far as collaboration from our end, even updating Academy Connection, getting some minor changes, which to us might seem minor, like changing a couple words on a page. It's a very lengthy process to get changes done in Academy Connection. We want to leverage the cloud. We want to limit the amount of downtime to our systems, and that's going to help us do that. I'm sure many of you have experienced a downtime in Academy Connection over the past year. Sometimes not at the most ideal times, right? It's time for an exam, and then the system has gone down. Support for business process changes. So Laura mentioned this morning, the business architecture. We want to make sure that we deliver some technology to help all of our partners. As an ASC and an ITC, there's not a lot for you today in Academy Connection on really helping you to help your academies. So we want to build more into our system to enable you to be able to support your academies in your area. Flexibility. So flexibility is going to be huge for our instructors. It's going to allow our instructors to go in and customize courses and really make it their own. So if an instructor wants to take the curriculum but build in their own content into the system, they can do so. They can also copy that over to another course. Let's say you pull in some files or some activities and you want to use it in your next semester. You can just copy the course over it and teach with that same content the next semester. Translation. So this is a huge one to us. We've been trying to get this for a very long time. To translate the interface of Academy Connection probably would take years. To translate our new system, CISCO NetSpace, will take a couple of months. It's actually translation ready. It's just a matter of us getting all of the translations done and loading it into the system. But it's great news that we'll be able to translate the new system. Support for mobile access. So it'll be accessible from mobile devices, and lots of collaboration capabilities and opportunities in there. Opportunities for you to collaborate with your students, for students to collaborate with each other, and for you to collaborate with other instructors and other advisors around the world. So let's talk about the upgrade. So how are you going to get there? And I've highlighted the word upgrade. It's very different than what you may have heard with business architecture, which was migration. With business architecture, we called it migration. We moved you from the CATC Regional Academy model, and we said it was migration. We migrated you to the new business architecture. So here we're calling it upgrade. We're upgrading you from Academy Connection over to CISCO NetSpace. These are just a couple of key points about how we're going to upgrade users. First one, for a period of time, so we're going to say 6 to 12 months for now. Transitioning from Academy Connection and moving over to CISCO NetSpace is a choice. So there is a period of time where we want to give you a choice and give all of the instructors around the world a choice of when they want to move and start using CISCO NetSpace. That means there will not be, within the next 6 months, we're not going to flip the switch and say everybody now has to log in and start using NetSpace. We want to give as much as possible. We want to give people the opportunity to choose. And that means that both systems are going to be available. So for a period of time, you might be using Academy Connection, but you might decide you want to start using NetSpace. So for a period of time, you could be using both systems. So this is basically what we're trying to do. Eventually, we want to get the activity in Academy Connection completely down, and all of the course activity happening within CISCO NetSpace. It's going to take some time to do this, but our estimate right now is about 12 months where we can start to ramp down the activity in Academy Connection and then ramp up the activity in CISCO NetSpace. Now this is our goal. We want it to be a choice for as many people as possible. part of the reason that we need all of your help as an ASC or an ITC is we don't want instructors out there to be forced over to Cisco NetSpace. We want them to take some time, go through some training, and move when they're ready. But because we do need to close Academy Connection eventually, there will be a point where we have to close Academy Connection and instructors will start to be forced over to Cisco NetSpace. But we want that to be a very limited number of instructors, and we hope that most will be able to move before then and by their choice. So here's a tentative timeline, and I'm kind of broken up into 3 phases. So let me describe what these phases mean. The first one, called NetSpace Available. This is a 4-month period where we will say it's available, development is done, but we're not talking a lot about it. It's kind of like a soft launch. So it's available. We would love all Academy Support Centers and Instructor Training Centers to go and to transition over to NetSpace at this time. But it's limited visibility. So if you're an instructor that just logs into Academy Connection during this period, it's business as usual. You log into Academy Connection and you teach your classes as normal. And there might be a picture of Cisco NetSpace when you log into Academy Connection. Something slight will be there to tell you there's something new coming. But it's really not a push from our end to aggressively move everybody over in that first 4 months. Okay. The next step here is NetSpace is visible to all. So that means within this second phase, we've done something drastic, which is we've taken our existing pre-login page. So if you're familiar with the pre-login page today, it's on cisco.com. You go there, you log into Academy Connection. Our second phase means that we will change that pre-login page, and it will be obvious to everybody that there is a change. Cisco NetSpace is here, and you can learn more about it and upgrade if you choose to. So as far as the choice goes, choice is really from this point up until this point. This line here is kind of highlighted a bit extra in yellow there. That's because this is a date where we need to say all new classes have to be opened in NetSpace, not in Academy Connection. So if you want to stay in Academy Connection and open a brand new course, you can do that all the way up until this point. After this point, we're going to say all new classes need to be opened in Cisco NetSpace. So the upgrade is really based on a brand new class being opened is what is going to move you over. New courses have to be opened in NetSpace. If you don't want to move during this period, you can keep teaching in Academy Connection. If you want to open a new course in Academy Connection, you can even open a new course in Academy Connection in January and continue to teach that course through the rest of whenever it ends. Let's say it ends in April. You're not going to be kicked out of Academy Connection as long as you opened that class before that cutoff period here. So this is tentative. Our best estimate right now is around January 31st is when we would say this is the date where all new classes after that point need to be opened in Cisco NetSpace. So this is the period where we really start to see the change, the ramping down of Academy Connection activity, because new classes need to be opened in the new system. So let me go through a scenario with you. First, some additional items here. So upgrading is on an individual basis. That means it's very different than the business architecture migration. We don't move a region. We don't move a country. We're moving individual users. So an instructor goes in, they go through some training, they decide they're ready to upgrade to NetSpace. It's that instructor. It doesn't impact anybody at their institution, other instructors at their institution. So that means at one academy we could have one instructor teaching with NetSpace, maybe 2 instructors still in Academy Connection. It'll be completely individual. Students only get to use NetSpace once they're invited to a course from their instructor. So if I'm a student and my instructor has chosen not to move over to NetSpace, I'm still in Academy Connection just as usual. No changes for me as a student. Now if I enroll in a new course from a different instructor for next semester, and that instructor has moved over to NetSpace, then I can start using NetSpace. So basically, a student really doesn't get the choice. They're waiting for their instructor to upgrade, and then the student will start to be able to use NetSpace. Some other important points about instructors. Once you upgrade, once you decide, okay, I'm ready to start using NetSpace, I know I'm going to open my new classes in NetSpace, the ability to open a new class in Academy Connection will actually be turned off. So if I decide to upgrade today, I'm going to use NetSpace, and I want to open a new class tomorrow, start that course, and I try to go to Academy Connection, I can still log into Academy Connection, but as soon as I try to click the link that says create a class or create a course, I'm going to get a message that says, you're upgraded, you need to go and open your course in the other system, in Cisco NetSpace. It also means that we want your profile to be managed in Cisco NetSpace. Because once you upgrade, NetSpace becomes the source of truth for you and your individual data. Your email, your address, whatever you have on your individual profile, Cisco NetSpace becomes the source of truth once you've upgraded. Before that, we're using Academy Connection. If you decide you're going to change your email address, let's say, and you've already upgraded, and so you go to Academy Connection and change your email address, it's not really permanently updating it because you need to make the change in NetSpace. There'll be some errors in the system to explain that to you, but the changes really need to be done in NetSpace. And this is an important one. We're not turning off Academy Connection right away. So just because you upgrade doesn't mean you can't go back to Academy Connection. You can go back and log in. You can go back and even finish teaching your existing classes. So if you move to NetSpace, while you still have a couple of active classes in Academy Connection, you still go back to Academy Connection, you log in, and you continue to teach those classes over there.